Admiral Zextral stood on the command deck of the Navorian dreadnought Eternal Conquest, watching the holographic display of a small blue planet. His chitinous mandibles clicked in amusement. Earth, not even worth a proper designation in the Empire's expansion charts, just another primitive world to be harvested. His fleet of 9,900 warships had reduced far more advanced civilizations to cosmic dust. Admiral, his second-in-command interrupted, "The primitives have detected us." Instead of the expected panic in Earth's communications, they intercepted a strange encoded message. "Activate Protocol Thermopylae." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Commander Maya Chen received the alert in humanity's hidden command center. "They're earlier than we expected," she said, pressing her palm against the biometric scanner. Around the world, similar facilities hummed to life, installations built in secret for 2 centuries. Ever since the discovery of alien ruins on Mars revealed humanity wasn't alone. "Let them come," General Okafor replied, watching as dormant satellites began transmitting data on the approaching armada. "They think they're the hunters, but we've been preparing for this hunt since before their admiral was born." On the Navorian flagship, Zextral laughed at intercepted footage of humans scrambling military assets. Their primitive projectile weapons would barely scratch his fleet's shields. What the admiral failed to notice was how precisely Earth's defensive satellites were positioning themselves, almost as if they had prior knowledge of Navorian tactical formations. "Tactical analysis complete, Admiral," reported Subcommander Krell, his exoskeleton glistening under the command deck's lights. "Their defensive capabilities are negligible, primarily chemical propellant weaponry, limited orbital presence, rudimentary fission technology, no sign of antimatter manipulation or dimensional phasing." As expected, Zextral's compound eyes gleamed with anticipation. "The Emperor will be pleased with this acquisition. The atmosphere composition is ideal for our terraforming needs, and the indigenous species appears suitable for labor processing." "There is one anomaly, Admiral." Krell hesitated. "Our deep scans detect unusual energy signatures beneath several large mountain ranges and ocean floors, possibly natural phenomena, but—" "Your caution bores me, Krell," the Admiral dismissed with a flick of his upper appendage. "I have conquered 17 systems with this fleet. This world will fall in days." Meanwhile, in the Mariana Trench Command Center, Commander Chen addressed the gathered leaders from Earth's Unified Defense Council, a secret body formed generations ago when humanity realized they weren't alone in the cosmos. "The Navorian Empire has expanded through our galactic sector for millennia," she explained, activating a holographic display showing the alien fleet's approach. "They've conquered, or exterminated, every civilization they've encountered. How can we possibly stand against such numbers?" asked the European representative, staring at the overwhelming force displayed above the table. Chen nodded to Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura, who stepped forward with quiet confidence. "Because we've been preparing for 200 years, the physicist replied. "Since the Mars expedition discovered the ruins of the last civilization, the Navorians destroyed in our solar system." He gestured, and the hologram shifted to show Earth's hidden defenses, a network far more advanced than anything publicly acknowledged. Quantum gravitational weaponry, nanite swarms, facilities throughout the solar system disguised as research, outposts or abandoned mining operations. Our ancestors realized that revealing our true technological capabilities would only accelerate the Navorian timetable, General Okafor added. "So we maintained the facade of a divided primitive species, while developing technologies specifically designed to target Navorian vulnerabilities." "How do we know they'll work?" asked the American representative. "The Mars ruins contained detailed technical specifications of Navorian military technology," Chen answered. "And for 2 centuries we've been sending stealth probes to observe their conquest of other worlds." Her expression hardened. "We've watched them destroy dozens of civilizations and learned from each one's failures." The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. "Commence Operation Thermopylae," Chen ordered, "and may God have mercy on us all, because the Navorians certainly won't." The Navorian diplomatic shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere, landing at the designated meeting point in neutral Switzerland. The aliens towered over their human hosts, their iridescent exoskeletons catching the sunlight as they emerged. "We offer you merciful subjugation," Ambassador Kalor announced through his translator. "Your species will serve as laborers. Those who resist will be processed into nutrient paste." He spread his forearms in what passed for a Navorian gesture of generosity. "You have 3 Earth days to prepare your surrender ceremonies." President Amara Rodriguez maintained a carefully crafted expression of fear tinged with resignation. "We need time to explain this to our people." What the Navorians didn't notice was Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura, quietly standing among the human delegation. While the aliens focused on intimidating Earth's apparent leaders, the quantum physicists' augmented contact lenses were scanning the aliens' technology, transmitting terabytes of data to labs worldwide. Back on the Navorian command ship, Admiral Zextral received the ambassador's report. They're terrified as expected. Their weapons are chemical propellants and simple fission. Primitive. Meanwhile, beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, Dr. Nakamura burst into the research hub where hundreds of scientists worked frantically. "I've got it," he shouted, connecting his data module. "Their shield harmonics operate on a quantum frequency. We can disrupt." The room erupted into activity as Nakamura's data flowed onto the main screens. Dr. Elena Sokolov, Earth's leading expert on theoretical gravitational manipulation, studied the readings with growing excitement. "The modulation pattern is exactly as we predicted from the Mars archives," she confirmed, fingers dancing across her console. "Their shields are completely vulnerable to focused gravity waves at precisely 1.67 terahertz." Nakamura nodded. "We can use the lunar array to generate the initial disruption field. Once their primary shields fail, the secondary barriers operate on a different principle, but they'll be just as vulnerable to the nanite infiltration," Sokolov finished. "We can have the swarms programmed and deployed within 36 hours. Across the chamber, robotics expert Dr. Kwame Adeyemi activated a containment field, revealing a microscopic drone no larger than a human blood cell. These beauties carry quantum entanglement cores. Once they penetrate Navorian hull material, they'll self-replicate using the ship's own metals and establish a coordinated network that can override their systems. In Geneva, President Rodriguez continued the diplomatic performance. "Ambassador Kalor, perhaps a tour of our defensive capabilities would demonstrate our cooperative intentions?" The Navorian diplomat's mandibles clicked in amusement. "If it pleases your species to show us your pathetic weapons before they're reduced to slag, we can accommodate this ritual." The carefully orchestrated tour of Earth's most advanced military facilities revealed exactly what the Navorians expected. Jet fighters, nuclear missiles, and primitive energy weapons. All technology the aliens had surpassed millennia ago. What the tour actually accomplished was positioning the alien delegation directly over specialized quantum sensors hidden beneath the facilities, mapping every aspect of Navorian physiology and technology in unprecedented detail. That night, Commander Chen convened a secure meeting with Earth's defense leadership. "The diplomatic mission has confirmed our Mars intelligence was accurate," she reported. "Their vulnerabilities are precisely where we expected them to be." "And they suspect nothing?" General Okafor asked. "They're completely overconfident," Chen replied. "The concept that a primitive species could develop technology specifically to counter theirs doesn't even occur to them. That hubris will be their downfall," Dr. Nakamura added. "We've had centuries to prepare for this moment. They've never encountered a civilization that knew they were coming." President Rodriguez's hologram joined the conference. "Ambassador Kalor has granted us 3 days before they expect our formal surrender. Their fleet is maintaining position beyond Mars orbit." 3 days is generous," Chen said with a grim smile. "We only need 1 to initialize our defense grid. We're ready to show the Navorian Empire something they've never experienced before." "And what's that?" asked Okafor. "Defeat," Chen replied simply. "They've given us 3 days," Commander Chen announced to the assembled military leaders in the Himalayan Command Center. "That's 2 more than we need. The holographic display showed real-time updates as Earth's hidden defenses activated. Beneath the lunar surface, massive hangar doors slid open, revealing sleek interceptors built with technology reverse-engineered from a crashed alien scout ship found decades ago in Siberia. On Mars, artillery platforms disguised as research, outposts powered up. "What about civilians?" asked the Australian representative. "Evacuation to the subterranean arcologies is at 82%, General Okafor replied. "The Navorians don't realize our cities are primarily decoys." In his private lab, Dr. Nakamura hadn't slept in 36 hours. "The gravitational modulators are our ace," he explained to Chen over a secure channel. "Their shields stop everything, except gravity waves at this precise frequency." He displayed a complex equation. They evolved on a low-gravity world. Their entire technology tree skipped gravitational physics. On the Navorian flagship, junior science officer Vex Mora brought disturbing readings to her superior. "There are energy signatures I can't identify coming from the planet's moon." "Irrelevant," her commander dismissed. "Probably primitive fission reactors." "But, sir," she hesitated. "What if we've miscalculated?" Questioning the admiral's intelligence is treason, he hissed. Vex Mora bowed submissively but copied her findings to a private data core. Someone should record what was about to happen, even if no one would believe it. Beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Sokolov supervised the activation of the primary gravitational array. The massive underground facility hummed with power as superconducting rings larger than football stadiums began to spin, generating precisely calibrated gravitational distortions. "Power levels at 87% and climbing," she reported. "We'll be fully operational in 6 hours." Nearby, Dr. Adeyemi's team loaded the nanite deployment pods into launch vehicles disguised as weather satellites. "Each pod contains 1 billion nanites," he explained to visiting military officials. "They're programmed to target Navorian technology specifically. They'll ignore Earth materials completely." In the Pacific Ocean, the underwater Mariana complex served as the central nervous system for humanity's defense. Quantum computers processed real-time data from sensors throughout the solar system, tracking every Navorian ship's position and status. "The asteroid belt units are online," reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson, monitoring the deployment of the quantum destabilizers. "Gravitational lenses are aligned and ready." Commander Chen studied the tactical display, her face illuminated by the holographic projection of 9,900 enemy ships. "Status of Prometheus?" "The satellite network is in final position," Jackson confirmed. "Solar energy collection at maximum capacity. The focusing arrays can target up to 500 ships simultaneously." Chen nodded, then opened a secure channel to all command centers worldwide. "This is Commander Chen. Initiation sequence Delta is now active. I want all defensive systems at full readiness in 18 hours, half the time the Navorians have given us." In arcologies around the world, civilians huddled in underground cities built over generations. Children clutched parents' hands as news broadcasts explained the partial truth. Aliens had arrived, negotiations were underway, and precautionary measures were being taken. What the public didn't know was that Earth's governments had been preparing for this moment since the 1940s, when the first alien artifacts had been discovered and kept secret from the world. The Cold War, the space race, even the internet, all had been influenced by the shadow knowledge of what awaited humanity among the stars. On the lunar far side, General Okafor inspected the gravity weapon emplacements. "Will they work?" she asked the chief engineer. "In theory, yes," he replied, "but we've never been able to test them at full power." "Well," Okafor said grimly, "I suppose we're about to find out." In low Earth orbit, a Navorian scout vessel detected unusual movement patterns from what appeared to be weather satellites. The ship sent a routine report back to the fleet. The report was filed and forgotten, just another data point about the Primitives' quaint technology. It would be the last mistake they ever made. Admiral Zextral's patience ended before the 3-day deadline. "Begin the bombardment. Show these primitives the futility of resistance." 100 ships moved into attack. Formation, spreading out to encircle Earth in a display of overwhelming force. Weapon systems charged, targeting major population centers. In the Himalayan Command Center, Commander Chen saw the formation shift. "They're moving early," she said, unsurprised. "Typical." "Shall we adjust the timeline?" General Okafor asked. Chen's face hardened. "No. Spring the trap." From Earth, the spectacle appeared apocalyptic. Thousands of massive ships darkening the sky. Civilians in the arcologies watched through video feeds, many saying final prayers or holding loved ones. Without warning, the asteroid belt erupted with light. Dr. Nakamura's quantum destabilizers, disguised as mining equipment, activated simultaneously. Targeted gravity wells formed, each precisely calibrated to the Navorian shield frequency. On the bridge of the Eternal Conquest, alarms blared. Zexitral watched in disbelief as 300 ships, warships that had survived bombardments from far more, advanced civilizations, were torn apart by invisible forces. "Impossible," he roared. "Return fire. Obliterate their population centers." Energy beams lanced toward Earth. Cities were vaporized. Mountains collapsed. But as the dust cleared, something unexpected happened. Counterfire erupted from Earth's oceans. The Prometheus network, satellites disguised as weather monitors, focused the sun's energy through gravitational lenses, creating beams that bypassed Navorian shields entirely. Another 2,000 enemy ships erupted in flames or drifted powerless. Junior Science Officer Vex Mora stared at her readings in awe. "They've weaponized a stellar body," she whispered, recording everything. "These primitives have mastered physics we never even considered." Lieutenant Commander Jackson watched the battle unfold from the underwater command center. "First wave of quantum destabilizer successful," he reported. "Prometheus network functioning at 94% efficiency. Enemy casualties at 2,300 ships and climbing." Chen nodded grimly. "What about our losses?" "New York, London, Beijing, Moscow, and 23 other major cities have taken direct hits." "Casualty estimates?" He paused, swallowing hard. "In the millions. But the arcologies are holding. Most population centers were successfully evacuated before the attack." On view screens around the command center, footage showed Navorian energy weapons striking Earth's surface. Where they hit, nothing remained, but glowing craters. The devastation was beyond anything in human history. Yet for the first time in the Navorian Empire's 10,000-year expansion, they faced an enemy who had drawn first blood. "They're regrouping," Okafor noted, pointing to the tactical display. "Their formation is tightening. They're protecting their command ships now." "Good," Chen replied. "That means they're scared. Dr. Nakamura, are the lunar gravity arrays ready?" "For Phase 2? Nakamura's hologram nodded. "Ready on your command, but we'll only get one shot before they adapt their shields." "Make it count," Chen ordered. "Target their flagship." On the moon's dark side, massive gravitational emitters powered, updrawing energy from fusion reactors buried deep beneath the lunar surface. The combined output of 12 reactors channeled through superconducting arrays, generating a gravity wave of unprecedented power. Admiral Zextral felt the attack before his sensors detected it, a crushing pressure that seemed to come from everywhere, at once. Around his flagship, escort vessels imploded like crushed aluminum cans, their shields useless against the fundamental force of gravity itself. The Eternal Conquest survived, its experimental hull flexing, but holding. 200 other Navorian command ships weren't so fortunate. "What is happening?" Zexitral demanded, mandibles clicking rapidly in distress. "How are they doing this?" Vex Mora studied her instruments, understanding dawning in her compound eyes. "Admiral, they're using gravitational manipulation on a scale we've never encountered. Our shields are calibrated for energy and matter, not space-time distortion itself." For the first time in his long career of conquest, Admiral Zexitral felt something unfamiliar doubt. "They've destroyed New York, London, Shanghai, and Moscow," reported General Okafor, her voice steady despite the staggering casualties. "But our underground facilities remain intact." Commander Chen nodded grimly. "Deploy the swarm. From lunar, launch bays, thousands of microscopic robots accelerated toward the Navorian fleet. Each nanite carried simple instructions: infiltrate, replicate, disable. They slipped through shield gaps created by Earth's gravitational weapons, embedding themselves in hull plating. Aboard the Navorian vessels, systems began failing inexplicably. Life support fluctuated. Weapons misfired. "What is happening?" Admiral Zexitral demanded, watching his magnificent armada falter. "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer responded. "The primitives have deployed some form of microscopic sabotage. Units. Impossible. Reconfigure communications to Central Command." But the rigid Navorian command structure began collapsing as nanites disabled their quantum communications. Cut off from central authority, individual captains made desperate, uncoordinated decisions. On Earth, Dr. Nakamura worked frantically with his team as the Himalayan mountain above them took a direct hit. Rock collapsed, crushing half the laboratory complex. Bleeding from a head wound, he finished the calculations for the magnetic shield modifications. "Commander Chen," he transmitted, "we've lost half the team, but we've found a way to use Earth's magnetic field as a deflector shield. It'll only work for 12 hours before burning out our power grid, but it should give us time for the nanites to do their work." In the Mariana Command Center, Chen watched as dust fell from the ceiling. Another near miss. She composed herself and opened a channel to all remaining defense stations. "Initiate Operation Aegis," she ordered. "Divert all power to the magnetic shield projectors." Around the world, massive underground generators pushed beyond safety limits. The engineers operating them knew they were sacrificing equipment that had taken decades to build, but without it, there would be nothing left to rebuild for. The effect was immediate and visible. Earth's magnetic field visibly rippled as it deflected Navorian energy weapons. The atmosphere itself glowed with aurora-like patterns even at the equator, as particles interacted with the strengthened magnetosphere. Dr. Sokolov monitored the shield strength from the Antarctic facility. "It's holding, but we're seeing structural instabilities in the power grid. Sectors in Asia and Europe are already redlining." "Keep it running as long as possible," Chen replied. "We need time for the nanites to penetrate their command ships." The battle entered its second phase. Earth's defensive shield bought precious hours as the nanite swarms infiltrated deeper into the Navorian fleet. The microscopic machines replicated, using the ship's own materials, spreading through critical systems like a technological virus. On the Navorian command ship, Weapons Officer Traz Kor stared in horror as his targeting system locked onto their own vessels. "Sir, I've lost control. The weapons are—" His protest ended as the ship's main batteries fired, destroying 3 nearby Navorian cruisers. Similar scenes played out across the fleet as nanites reprogrammed targeting systems, life support, and propulsion. Ships fired on allies or vented atmosphere into space, killing their own crews. Junior Science Officer Vex Mora watched in horror as her own ship fired on their fleet. "We never anticipated this," she recorded. "These humans don't fight like any species we've encountered. They don't try to match our strengths, they target our weaknesses with surgical precision." Admiral Zexitral, rage-building, ordered the destruction of his own compromised vessels. "Purge the fleet. Better to lose ships than have them turned against us." By the battle's end, another 4,000 Navorian ships had been destroyed or disabled. Yet the remaining fleet still outnumbered anything Earth could muster. In the underwater command center, Chen received the damage reports with grim satisfaction. "The magnetic shield is failing," she acknowledged, "but the nanite infection has spread to 68% of their remaining vessels." "What now?" asked General Okafor. Chen's eyes were steel. "Now we move to Phase 3. Tell Dr. Nakamura to prepare Operation Lighthouse." "That's our last resort," Okafor reminded her. "And it's only theoretical." "Theory becomes practice when there's no alternative," Chen replied. "And we're running out of alternatives." 2 weeks into the war, Earth resembled a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The planet's surface was scarred with impact craters. Oceans boiled where energy weapons had struck. The atmosphere was choked with dust and smoke, Yet from underground arcologies and mountain fortresses, humanity fought on. In the Atlantic Command Center, a massive submarine complex, Commander Chen met with the surviving leadership. "We've lost 70% of our defensive capabilities," she reported. "The Navorians still have 3,600 ships." "What about Operation Lighthouse?" asked President Rodriguez, her face gaunt from weeks without proper sleep. Dr. Nakamura, arm in a sling, pulled up the schematics. "It's ready, but—" he hesitated. "The quantum field generator requires precise calibration. Someone needs to manually maintain the focal point. Remote operation isn't possible? No, the radiation would fry any electronics. It needs human hands." Silence fell over the room. "I'll do it," said Major Sophia Patel, stepping forward. "My wife and daughter were in Mumbai when it was hit." "You'll need a team," Chen said quietly. By day's end, 2,000 volunteers had stepped forward, scientists, engineers, and soldiers willing to sacrifice everything. The quantum field generator, a massive installation hidden in the Arctic, powered up as Navorian ships descended, detecting the sudden energy spike. Major Patel and her team worked frantically, adjusting calibrations as radiation burned through their protective suits. "Field stability at 68%, reported one engineer, skin blistering from exposure. "We need 95% for full effectiveness." "Reroute. Power from life support," Patel ordered. "We don't need it anymore." The generator reached full power just as the Navorian ships moved to destroy it. A singularity formed, a controlled black hole that generated a gravity well so powerful it crushed Navorian vessels like aluminum cans. Major Patel's last act was to manually override the safety protocols, pushing the generator beyond designed limits. In the command center, Dr. Nakamura watched the readings spike off the charts. "My God," he whispered. "She's overclocked the containment field." "What does that mean?" asked General Okafor. Before he could answer, the Arctic installation vanished in a flash of light visible from space. The gravitational shockwave expanded outward, precisely calibrated to affect only objects with Navorian molecular signatures. The alien ships caught in the wave didn't explode. They imploded, crushed by forces that defied conventional physics. "They did it," Chen said softly. 2,000 lives for 2,500 enemy ships. President Rodriguez bowed her head. "Make sure their names are recorded. If humanity survives this, they deserve more than memory." On the main view screen, the Arctic region showed a new feature, a perfectly circular depression 50 kilometers wide where the installation had been. Nothing remained of Major Patel and her team except the effect of their sacrifice. 2,500 enemy ships destroyed in seconds. On her ship, Junior Science Officer Vex Mora wept as she recorded. They sacrificed themselves deliberately, not by command but by choice. What kind of species values victory over individual survival? The Navorian fleet, now reduced to 1,100 ships, pulled back to regroup. For the first time, their formation suggested hesitation rather than confidence. In his private quarters, Admiral Zexitral reviewed the battle footage with growing desperation. He had conquered 17 galactic sectors without a single defeat. Now, a primitive species had destroyed nearly 90% of his fleet. They knew, he realized suddenly. Somehow, they knew we were coming. They prepared, specifically, for us. His mandibles clicked rapidly as the implications sank in. If humans had prepared for the Navorians, what else might they have waiting? On Earth, Commander Chen allowed herself 5 minutes of silent grief for Major Patel, her friend since Academy, days before returning to the command center. The Navorians are regrouping beyond lunar orbit, reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson. Intel suggests they're preparing their planet-killer weapons. Then we proceed with the final phase, Chen replied, her expression unreadable. Begin core. Tap preparations. The core tap has never been tested, Dr. Nakamura warned. The geological implications alone are better than extinction, Chen finished. We've run out of alternatives. Admiral Zexitral stared at the tactical display in stunned silence. His glorious fleet, the mightiest ever assembled by the Navorian Empire, reduced to 1,100 ships. His mandibles clicked rhythmically, a sign of extreme stress in his species. Deploy. The planet killers, he finally ordered. His second-in-command hesitated. Admiral, the Emperor authorized those weapons only for... Zexatral crushed the officer's throat with a swift movement of his upper limb. I am the fleet. I am the Empire's will. Deploy them now. The remaining ships positioned themselves strategically around Earth, preparing to launch weapons designed to fracture planetary crusts and trigger catastrophic tectonic events. Deep beneath, the Mariana Trench in humanity's last intact command center, Commander Chen received the grim intelligence. They're preparing something big, she reported to the surviving leadership. Our sensors indicate energy readings beyond anything we've seen. Dr. Nakamura, dying from radiation poisoning but still working, looked up from his console. It's time. For the core tap. General Okafor shook her head. That's theoretical. We never completed the tests. We've run out of alternatives, President Rodriguez said quietly. Authorize it. Throughout Earth's mantle, dormant machines activated. Devices, placed by generations of engineers working in secret, they began drawing power directly from Earth's molten core, channeling geothermal energy on an unprecedented scale. On the lunar dark side, the massive emitter array that had been humanity's final contingency plan powered up. Energy from Earth's core transmitted via quantum entanglement, accumulating in focusing chambers. This will change Earth forever, Chen warned. Our planet's rotation will slow. Climates will shift. Better a changed Earth than no Earth at all, Rodriguez replied. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Sokolov supervised the final calibrations despite her radiation burns. Core energy capture at 60% and rising, she reported. Quantum entanglement. Transmission stable. We're seeing geological instability, warned a technician. Seismic events registering worldwide. Keep going, Sokolov ordered. If the Novorians deploy their planet killers, seismic events will be the least of our problems. Aboard the Eternal Conquest, Vexmora detected an enormous energy buildup emanating from Earth's core. Admiral, she reported urgently, the planet's internal thermal signature is changing dramatically. They appear to be... She hesitated, the readings defying belief, tapping into their planet's core. Impossible, Zextral dismissed. No civilization has ever weaponized a planetary core. Launch the planet killers now. But Vexmora's warning had created just enough delay. As the Novorian fleet prepared to fire, Earth struck first. The pulse emanated from the moon, an electromagnetic surge of such magnitude that it fried every electronic system in its path. Ships designed to withstand supernovas were overwhelmed by the sheer intensity, their advanced circuitry melting instantly. 3 Novorian vessels hung dead in space, their systems permanently disabled. Only Admiral Zexatral's flagship and 16 escorts, protected by experimental shielding, remained operational. On Earth, the effect was equally catastrophic. Power grids failed worldwide. The core tap had burned out humanity's technological infrastructure. Entire tectonic plates shifted. Earthquakes rumbled across continents. The planet's rotation slowed by fractions of a second, enough to alter weather patterns for centuries to come. In the command center, emergency power flickered as Chen viewed the aftermath on backup systems. Status report, she demanded. Tai. Pulse was successful, General Okafor confirmed. Over 1,000 enemy ships neutralized. But we've lost virtually all technology above ground level. Most underground facilities are running on isolated power. Global communications are down. And the Novorian flagship? Still operational. 17 ships total survived. Chen nodded grimly. Then we're not finished? Prepare the final message. What message? Asked President Rodriguez. The one that ends this war, Chen replied. One way or another. Admiral Zexatral's flagship hovered over a devastated Earth, his 16 remaining escort vessels the last operational ships of what had been the mightiest fleet in the galaxy. Prepare nuclear bombardment, he ordered, mandibles quivering with rage. I will not return to the Empire, in defeat. Better to sterilize this world completely. Admiral, His weapons officer replied quietly. "We've detected a transmission from the surface." Commander Chen's hologram appeared on the bridge, her uniform torn, face scarred, but eyes defiant. "Admiral Zexitral," she said, "your fleet is destroyed. Your invasion has failed. You have two options: leave our solar system immediately or join your armada in oblivion." Zexitral laughed bitterly. "With what weapons? Your world is in ruins, your technology is burned out." Chen smiled. "Look up." Above the Navorian flagship, thousands of derelict ships, the dead hulks of the Admiral's own fleet, had been repositioned using Earth's remaining functional technologies. Gravitational tethers held them in a precarious arrangement. "One signal," Chen explained, "and we drop your fleet's corpses onto your remaining ships. Simple gravity. No technology required." Junior Science Officer Vex Mora stepped forward. "Admiral, we should withdraw. The Empire must know what happened here." Zextral hissed, but calculation replaced rage in his compound eyes. Information about this defeat was indeed valuable. The Empire must prepare for these primitives. "You win this battle," he transmitted, "but the Empire will return." "We'll be waiting," Chen replied. "But before you go, receive this full data. Package of the battle. Let your Empire understand exactly what happened here." As the transmission ended, President Rodriguez questioned Chen's decision. "Why give them complete battle records? They'll learn our tactics, our technologies." "Precisely," Chen nodded. "Let them see everything. Let them understand that we knew they were coming, that we prepared specifically for them. Let them wonder what else we might know." Psychological warfare, General Okafor realized. "You're sowing doubt." "The Navorian Empire spans 17 galactic sectors," Chen explained. "They can't possibly return with a larger force without leaving their territories vulnerable. And now they'll question every primitive species they encounter, wondering if another Earth awaits them." The 17 Navorian vessels limped away from Earth, carrying with them a message and a warning. 6 months later, in the ruins of Geneva, humanity gathered to begin the long process of rebuilding. The surface was uninhabitable in many regions, but the underground arcologies would sustain them until restoration projects could heal the planetary wounds. "We reversed the core tap damage," Dr. Nakamura reported in his final briefing before succumbing to radiation poisoning. "Earth's rotation has stabilized." Commander Chen, now leading the new United Earth Defense Force, looked out over the assembly. "The Navorians will tell others about us. They'll come again. Maybe not for decades, but they'll come. Let them," President Rodriguez replied. "While they spread tales of their defeat, we'll be gathering the remains of their fleet." She pointed to the sky, where teams of engineers were towing Navorian wrecks into stable orbits. "We're learning their technology, adapting it, improving it. Next time, we won't just defend Earth, we'll take the fight to them." In a private moment, Chen visited the memorial wall where the names of billions lost were being recorded. She found Major Patel's name among the Operation Lighthouse volunteers and touched it gently. "We did it, Sophia," she whispered. "We survived." 3 years later, humanity launched its first interstellar vessel, built from salvaged Navorian technology. Its mission: to find other worlds threatened by the Empire, to form alliances, to prepare. The ship's name, emblazoned on its hull in multiple languages, sent a message to the stars: remember Earth,